Hi everyone, it's Diana back. That's not my last name, by the way, it's not back. Anyway, so I wanted to get back to you on the ether. I spoke about the ether being connected to the way we communicate non-verbally, it seems, like with clairvoyance, ESP, and manifesting whatever we want. So I'm also still hearing it as a description of the atmosphere. Yeah. So anyway, I'm standing up because I think I can think better standing up. I'm not sure. I've been sitting down and it doesn't feel right to just like stand up. Sit up, sit down. Sit down! So, I'm just going to make a quick video here right now because I'm hearing different things with the globe people, accusing, flat earthers of essentially believing every conspiracy theory there is. Well, and that we're kind of predisposed for believing conspiracy theories. This is kind of, the problem with this is the globe people, or just your everyday average person who doesn't research everything all the time like we do. We're doing all these checks constantly. We have like a background first. It's not like, suddenly there's a conspiracy theory and we believe this theory just because we believe it. No, we have this background. And when you start looking at everything from every angle, you'll see how it all connects, and you're connecting dots. And let's take, for instance, NASA. We're told, people accuse us of thinking everything they put out is a lie. Well, it's not just looking at the CGI they put out. It's not just that. You go back into the history of NASA and how it was formed, with the Nazis, and how actually the scientific community, our scientific community, is infiltrated by Nazis, because we did bring them into this country. And so it goes back, with that as well. And when you look at every other aspect of what's going on in the world, everything that is wrong for us or bad for us is given the seal of approval from our government. And we have GMOs, we have vaccinations, chemtrails, spraying chemicals in our atmosphere. That's given the seal of approval. GMOs that are poisonous, that's given the seal of approval. On and on and on and on and on. And if you go, you look at, go down this road, it's like a hub, hub of a wheel. You go on down this road, you go down this road, you go down this road. And from every aspect of life, you'll find there's something amiss. You look at the presidents, they're all related, right? This is a bloodline thing. Seriously, I'm not making this stuff up. Everywhere you turn, something is wrong with something. And it's created that way. It's designed that way. It's not an accident. So when these globalists, globalers, whatever they're called, when they're accusing us of believing conspiracies, every conspiracy theory, well, take a look at the world. We have wars. What's that all about? Peace is so easy, so easy. People are human. They want peace. But these wars are perpetuated, and that's another conspiracy. So they're all conspiracy, yes. But we're not predisposed to it. We're just researching everything from every angle. So, you have to have a little background. Besides that, I want to also get back to, space itself. Now, these globe people are always talking about, flat earthers don't explain anything. They can't explain anything. Well, you have to remember too, whomever you are, who who believes in the globe, you're not seeing everything. You've got to see the big picture. And I had one conversation with somebody, well, kind of a conversation. I kind of ended it because they called me a liar because I told them I took astronomy and I told them my grade because it's not like I was like sleeping in that class. And they didn't believe me because I said I had an A. Well, they said it should have been a number average. The person was from Australia, I think. And how does he know what my college does? Our reports are done in A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, O, P, whatever. So, yes, we have number grades too, but, it's up to the professor, on our exams, whether he wants to give A's, B's, or 97s, 85s, whatever. It's up to them. But in the final reports, it's given, a letter grade. So anyway, so I had this conversation with that person, and they said, well, I don't know. I told them to research because they were asking me questions and mocking me because of my beliefs in the flat earth. And I just said, well, do your research. That's all I can tell you. Do research, and then come talk to me later. And so we got in that conversation about astronomy and stuff, and I told him about background and whatever, and he said that the only thing he honed in on was my average, my A, that he didn't believe and called me a liar. So I had to cut that conversation out. But what he said was that flat earthers keep telling him that everything is fake. So what does he research? He doesn't know what to research because everything's fake. Well, do some research. You have to start reading, looking, seeing, observing everything. You can't just look at one thing and then start looking, comparing it to the science you learned, because the science you learned is exactly what's in question. And I learned that science too from, a little tiny person. I was looking at the science. I love science. I was reading about all the theories, and exactly that's what it is. It's theory. Everything that you throw back at the flat earthers, globalists I'm talking to now, everything you throw back at them is a theory you learned. I learned those theories too. I learned, how the moon was formed from the earth and molten this and molten that, and there was all these different theories about how the moon got there, thrown off, from the earth or whatever. But, we're looking at the moon right now, and we're, observing different things. And they are contrary to what we've learned. They're contrary to what NASA says. Even with the planets, they'll say, globals, well, the planets are all round. Why isn't the Earth round? Well, how do we know the planets are round? That's what's in question. And, they're observing, just ordinary people with good telescopes and cameras are observing these planets, and are not the same thing that NASA is showing us. So anyway, I'm trying to fit some things in here, and trying to keep a train of thought, but it's hard because my mind is bouncing around, and I do want to get things in. So keep in mind, globalers, that whatever you're learning, or whatever you learned, was a theory, is still a theory. The sphere Earth is a theory. I don't know why you don't get that. And nobody's ever proven it. And NASA naturally is showing you CGI. Research it. They admit it. They're compositing these images. And when I go back to when I don't even remember when I first saw the blue marble. And I don't know if I even thought that much of it, even though I was a science buff, so to speak. But I'm always into my thing. I'm always creating, painting, dancing, whatever. And I was going to school too. So at that time, so I don't recall, being so impressed with the blue marble. I just maybe thought it was normal and natural. But then, of course, now we look at it and we see all the different images that NASA has put out that are all unequal. different proportions. So, I mean, does that tell you anything? Does that make you like question anything? Do you question? I'm also seeing how I go to work and I talk to people, and sometimes I wonder why. Why do I talk to them? Why do I even bother? Because I get these comebacks, quick, sharp, sarcastic comebacks, and I also find that there's like almost zero curiosity. Is anybody curious? I mean, if I say the Earth is flat, do you want to run? Don't you want to run and try to find out why I think that, or look it up, or even if I tell you, I've seen evidence and this, that, and the other thing about it, don't you have any curiosity? I mean, like, what happened to people? Is this fluoride really working? I think it is. I mean, we've been dumbed down. I mean, some of us haven't been dumbed down so much. Either that, or we've, have another, I don't know what it would be, just another spark somewhere, coming from I don't know where. So, where was I? Anyway, I wanted to throw out some things there, and like I said before, keep in mind what you're throwing at us as flat Earth believers, or at least not spherical Earth. Is everything you're saying is a theory, and it's something you were taught, even if you were taught by a teacher who was taught by a teacher who was taught by a teacher, and that's how it goes down the line. One teacher is going to school learning all these theories, but told this is the way it is when it's not, and it's passed along. It's and then we adopt it. Then it's widely held as fact. It's not a fact. None of them are facts. I have my, where is it? I lost my couch and stuff. I had to move it to dance, because I'm going to dance now, and I felt like I was, ready to, take on the world. So, thanks for listening. Getting back to the ether. I'm understanding now what people are saying about the ether and this, connectedness to the earth and everybody, and essentially that's kind of means we're all one. I mean, Edgar Cayce said something about our unconscious or consciousnesses are all connected, and that's, well, I don't want to start getting into my theories now, but so we are all one, and we are feeling. Of course, now with the flat Earth, we're feeling more of a, how do I say it, a spark, a charge, an opening. This is an opening, awakening, and we're feeling it more. And like, maybe jazz, somebody was saying about how it seems to be more of not so different now. Our intuition is not so different. It's a normal thing, and it is a normal. It's always been kind of normal for me. I mean, it has been normal for me. Although we do like get really surprised about things like that, because no one else that around us is doing it or feeling it. So we think it's a little bit exceptional. But so let me get on with my dance now, and if you have any questions. Oh, another thing with the, global, I don't know if you're called gobblers. If you have any questions, kind of don't direct it to me. I mean, I'm getting a lot of questions, and it's not that I can't answer them. I mean, some of them I can't, because we haven't worked this all out either. I mean, this is not new, but we're just awakening now. We haven't had the tools to actually go out there and discover all that we need to discover to make these, to come up with answers. I mean, look at Antarctica. We can't go there as independent explorers. It's off limits. I mean, that would be one of our 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 sources for information regarding questions that people have about going off the edge, whatever. I mean, I keep hearing this too. Has anybody gone off the edge? No. Well, no. Maybe not. Maybe they have. We don't know about it. But we could maybe answer that if we could just go to Antarctica, at least. There's so much, and it's pretty complicated. So if you have questions, get a background. Get a background on what's going on in the world. Don't just think everything is isolated. It's not isolated. It's all connected to many other things. So thank you for all your contributions and what you have to bring to the table. It's enormous, and thank you for putting out your videos and affirming and supporting. I'm going to leave some links to go visit. I'm sure there are other people, maybe watching this video that cares enough to, go explore some things. So thank you all, and I'll talk to you later.